Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, yeah. Haps Friday is going down. You know what it is? It's Friday, December 9th, 2022 already. Wow.
Next to last Friday. Next to last Friday of the season.
I can't hear you say again.
Said next to last Friday of the season.
Coming up on it. Hey, Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. How you doing this morning? Welcome.
Coming live from Facebook.
Live, you love that Facebook, don't you, Wanda Lewis? I understand. Welcome everybody that's on the YouTube channel as well. Let us know what's going on over there. There's Pops. Says good Friday morning, First Sky. Love to the squad and fam, and never forget, it is better to be seen than viewed. Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Talking about being viewed in the casket. I got it. Stacey Jean said, good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Good morning to you. Over on Facebook. All right, that's what's up. No more Valentine says, morning fam. How you doing this morning?
Peace.
Shout out to the 630 crew over there on the radio channel. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know how the mix was this morning. Appreciate you. And you can always check us out, firstskyOmaha.com. Hit the listen button. And not just the show in the morning, but celebration of black music all day.
Hey.
All right. Good morning. That's right. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners on this Friday, December 9th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. Like Buddy said, we're a week away from our break. And looking forward to it. How about you, Buddy?
Yeah. Smell the coffee beans, recharge the batteries, take a step back, look at the last, 2 years, look at how we can improve.
Yep, that's right. Making some changes. And we're not necessarily taking a break. I mean, it'll be all work. We just won't be on the air for that particular point in time. But then we'll be back January the 16th. That's when season 5 starts, hopefully with some new changes, and exclusively over at YouTube at that point as well. So still kind of working it out, trying to think about it a little bit. I know we got some chat chimers that want to hold on to Facebook. So we've been thinking about it a little bit like, I wonder if we ought to keep the Facebook line open.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll put it out to you, the chat chimers. Don't want to just alienate anybody. So if you feel like you want to stay on Facebook, then maybe we'll do YouTube and Facebook in season 5. But, at your own peril.
Yeah, that part. All you Facebook loyalists.
If they want to throw you off, go on, get back on, I guess. Yeah. Pop says, thank you, Brother Valentine. By the way, I've been meaning to ask. They talking about they having a conversation already. That's what's up.
Yeah, Pop's popping.
Pop's popping off. But Brother Valentine, do you have some musicians in the family? That's an interesting question. I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in the answer myself.
Amy Huffler says, good morning, fam. What's happening, Amy?
Hey,
thanks for
happy Friday.
There it is. How you feeling today, buddy?
I'm all right. A little tired, but still dealing with this car, man. My truck's been in the shop for like 2 weeks. It's giving me a headache. Yeah, I've been having to go back and forth with the parts people. I ordered the part, and then they're like, well, you got to confirm the code, and then I got to take the part off to confirm the code. It's just one thing after another. But, you keep moving. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, luckily it's not snowing down here. I'll tell you that much. Having to get around in the snow, man, that's a headache.
Yeah, it's no good. Well, hopefully, next year we'll be following our money a little bit better and bringing a little bit better prosperity to ourselves, and
Indeed, indeed.
get to the next level. What's happening? Rome's reviews over here on YouTube. Says Americano in my cup. Hit the like button on your way in or out. That's what's up.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you giving them reminders. That's right. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, bang the dilly, all that stuff.
All of it, all of it. But yeah, other than that, man, all is all doing all right. Just taking it day by day. How about you, man? How you feeling?
Not good. Not good.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
woke Yeah, man. Yeah, I started feeling like I was coming down with something last night, and I woke up this morning like, "Oh, I need to call the show off."
man,
It was like that.
man.
So I went ahead and yeah, Alka-Seltzered and Dayquil it up and came on the show. But yeah, I'm not feeling good. Uh, went out was out for like 5 minutes, man. Like it. I mean, I wasn't out. I was kind of just like in the public, going to work, going to the store, doing some stuff. I felt like I hadn't been out in a while. Went out, felt like I
Mm.
might have picked something up on the way back, bro.
'Tis the season,
So,
man.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing I will say. It's all over the place. They've been shutting schools down and stuff like that because teachers are catching the flu so hard.
Really,
Yeah, they had to, they didn't have enough teachers for a couple of days and had to like shut down stuff.
man,
So
man.
it's going down, and if you read the reports, if you see what's going on just all around the country, resurgence with COVID, it's flu
Yeah,
season. Everybody got
RSV.
something. Everybody got something, bro.
Yeah.
So anyway, Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Yeah, I know. I've been sick since we went to California, and I'm like,
Man, low key, yeah, it's been back to back to back, and yeah, for you to say like you were thinking about stopping the show, man, it's not a small thing. Like we do this.
it was a rough morning for sure, man. I powered through it. I'm definitely here, like, oh, end of the show. I'm gonna lay back down. Like I'm definitely right there, man. Like I'm
Man.
right in the middle of not feeling good at all. So
Well, I appreciate you. I'm sure all the chat chimers out there appreciate you for doing what you got to do so we can do the thing.
yeah, we got special guests today. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah,
Let them
man.
know who's coming through.
Well, we got JaKeen Fox, who's always a pleasure when he comes through to talk to him about stuff, man. Powerhouse Cat is going to talk to us about some things that's very, very interesting to me. I can't wait to talk to him.
Man.
And we also got a special guest. I've been calling him Murphy because I keep forgetting his last name. But a friend of mine, Murphy, that's coming through. He's Murph is helping put together this show called Holiday Lights over at the Benson Theater, and I wanted to come on and talk about what it was because it's kind of different. There's if you're trying to go to holiday shows, you got a couple of options. You got like Chip Davis with his Mannheim Steamroller show that the tickets are very, very expensive. You got the same the Nutcracker, so yeah, that's a staple for every year.
Mm,
This holiday light show is like a original story that's like pulling together all of the holidays around this time,
mm,
including Halloween. It's got a little scary edge to it and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
okay.
So
It's a play.
uh, it's a play, and it was written by it was an original play, and it was written by this company, Bridget St. Bridget, that Murphy's from, and also members of the Benson Theater. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And I also got tickets to give away for this as well. So
Okay.
we'll talk to him about the show a little bit about it, and then we'll give away some tickets and all that good stuff. And yeah, so couple some different stuff, and then of course we have an extensive haps that's going to happen today too as well. Kind of been saving up some haps for the end of the week. There, we'll take a little bit more time today
Yeah,
and
man.
talk about what's going on this weekend.
It's a
Pop
lot.
says, "Yeah, there is a lot. There's a lot happening." Pops, I think you're right. He says, "Son, you're going to be more like your pops, staying in the house."
See, he didn't even have to say it. He just got to be more like me. You know exactly what he's saying.
I know exactly what he's saying. Just go on a hermit up, man. Start ordering them groceries and just chill out at the house.
Man, definitely around now. It's hibernation season, man.
Yeah, this is very true. Very true. Anthony Hart says, "Good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming
Peace,
on in."
peace, peace.
Yeah, just to let you know, just to remind everybody that's on Facebook, we are talking about going exclusively on YouTube, coming next season, January 16th. But let us know what you think. If you are really, really Facebook and Twitter fans, let us know. Let us give us some feedback on that kind of feel like we need to gather everybody in one spot, and we were kind of leaning in that direction anyway. YouTube seems to be the best place for that. But, if you guys are adamantly against it, then, we wanna hear your input too, because this is a conversation with y'all. This ain't just us up here figuring out stuff. So
Yeah,
let us know if you wanna stay with Facebook and Twitter and all those good things. But I appreciate everybody that followed us over to YouTube already, that we will be putting our major efforts over there. That's where the major conversations will be going on, so
definitely. And big shout out to everybody on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page on Facebook. If you still are in there, there is always a conversation to be had on that group page. So yeah. Unless YouTube does group pages, I think we will keep that
Oh,
going.
yeah.
So yeah. So definitely big shout out, especially those of you who are dropping links and stories. We will definitely be talking about some of those throughout the day. But I do want to put out the question. I mean, you kind of talking about some of the Christmas things, and I am curious, sir. Are any of the chat chimers like real heavy Christmas people? Some people go hard for Christmas, like putting up all the decorations, playing Christmas music year round almost.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let us know. And also, Curtis Blow is back on the road, so that's
Say
happening.
what?
Yeah. The hip hop Christmas Curtis Blow extravaganza. Yeah. He's back on the road.
The only Christmas song I ever knew was that Run DMC one. Mom's in the kitchen cooking chicken and collard greens.
Yeah. I'm
Holly
sure
Spoon Brothers.
I'm sure you know about that, Mayor Sanchez.
Yeah, man. Where's my old school Run DMC Christmas song, Mayor Sanchez? Let us know. Pop saying, playing devil's advocate, it may not be bad to not have all your eggs in one basket. If one goes down, we'll always have the other. Okay.
Okay. That's a
Getting
thought.
getting
It's a
some
thought.
feedback. Getting some feedback. Yeah. I guess so. I mean, there's no harm in leaving it on Facebook. It's just you got to deal with when Facebook dumps you off and all that mess that it was doing. So, we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see. But we definitely want to drive everybody to YouTube, because there's some features over at YouTube that we feel like will definitely enhance the conversation and so on and so forth. And plus, that algorithm, man. YouTube
Yeah.
is a video search engine. That's different from how Facebook and Twitter are social media channels. Definitely a different situation. So we definitely want to steer everybody to YouTube, but give us some feedback. We appreciate that. Give us some feedback. Amy Huffless says, I like YouTube. I get the notification for the show. I can have YouTube going on my phone, and I can still multitask on my phone and not interrupt listening to the show.
There you go.
That's a thought.
There you go.
That's a thought.
Man. Okay, some feedback. We appreciate that. And yeah, actually keep that, kind of stuff coming as we look to improve, especially over the next month or so during our break. Yeah, let us know. Let us know what's going on. How can we improve? But in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get into the thing. We do have a show ahead of us. And a lot of conversation. Again, big shout out to everybody dropping stories in the Friends of First Sky Omaha page, and some conversation going on with that as well. So we do want to continue that on the show. And we'll be kicking off with the MUD story. Of course, we've been looking at this whole streetcar situation. The saga continues, and it may be tapping our pockets in more than one way. So we'll dive into exactly what that means and what that may look like. And then also, we'll actually have several topics in regards to energy and power and gas for today, as the Keystone Pipeline has burst again, and there has been a leak found near the Kansas-Nebraska border. So we'll kind of talk about what that situation is looking like and how it's being handled. And then also nationally, there's been some power attacks. Again, if you remember, I think earlier this week, we reported on the possibility, definitely as temperatures drop, as you see, is getting colder in Nebraska and areas in the Midwest, and that might affect power districts. But again, it might be more than just the weather affecting power plants across the country. We'll talk about that as well.
The weather in the white.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. Also, man, Douglas County does it again. Fresh off his victory, Don Klein does another one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, Douglas County grand jury finds no fault in authorities' actions in 9 in-custody deaths. Again, the grand jury finds no fault in authorities' actions in 9 in-custody deaths. That just reminds me of how the Kenneth Jones situation was handled. Again, Kenneth Jones, a man who also died in police custody, and his case was wrapped up in about 15 other cases in the grand jury, and yeah, they were all just lumped up together. It's very interesting how that's being handled. So we'll look at that situation. And also, we are still following the money. Local organization Simple Foundation recently received $6 million in ARPA funds for crime prevention. A lot of people are having questions and concerns and comments on the Friends of page. So again, that is one of the conversations we would like to continue here on this page. As always, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard on that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get the show started, man. We'll be talking about all those things and more. So if there's anything on your hearts, your minds, feel free to drop that into the chat. In the meantime, Paul B.
Yo.
Let's go.
Let's do it. What up? Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, thanks for joining us on this Friday, the 9th of December. Really appreciate everybody coming on through. You keep dipping and dapping, but don't know what's happening. What's up, bro?
Hey.
Got them bars. Really appreciate everybody jumping in. He also says G.I. Joe is a G.I. jerk. Got the kung fu grip that don't even work. Reciting that old school Christmas Run DMC tracks. I love it. Appreciate you. Wanda Lewis says I'm going to be neutral, not going to be difficult. However, I might not chime in as much because I don't want to clutter up YouTube. Y'all know I talk too much. Yeah, we kind of depend on you coming on through with you.
That's what we do.
Yeah, go on and clutter it up. Brooke Allen gives us a good morning. What's happening? New Najee L says peace, family, and happy Holly degree. Okay, holy degree. Okay, got it.
Peace. Yeah, happy holiday, family. Islam.
Hey, I was gonna say, I was just thinking about that stuff that's going on, like Christmas in the village, all that stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They have that Kwanzaa in the village too. That's the other question I had too. Who's doing Kwanzaa this year? Buddy had a question about who's doing Christmas. Who's doing Kwanzaa? That's what I want to know.
We more so do Kwanzaa at the crib. We do Kwanzaa. We actually like made a candle, like made the 7 candles with the kids, and yeah, we go through that whole situation. Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us once again. Like I said, special guest coming on in today. We have JaKeen Fox that's going to be on. You know, he's always a great guest to have on.
Man.
Also Murphy Wulfgar is his name. Murphy Wulfgar is coming through to talk about holiday lights over the Benson Theater. We'll be giving away some tickets, so don't forget to hang out for that if you're so inclined to go do some of those things. Good morning from Zane. Hey Zane, how you doing, buddy?
The
dude. Yeah, man. So anyway, that's what's up, and lots to come, lots to talk about. Really interesting stories today,
man.
Especially as, like you said, it gets colder out, and they messing with the energy around here. We're messing with the power.
I got the power. well, actually, some people might not have the power this winter. We'll see. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. Again, this is First Sky Omaha in the morning. Let your minds be free. Let your voices be heard. Jump into the chat and let us know, man. How are you excited about these MUD? I heard this recently reported by KETV. The Metropolitan Utilities District Board just voted on Wednesday to approve a budget that increases fees for both gas and water services, and actually warned that that could go even higher. As of now, MUD says the average residential customer will pay about $26 more per year for gas and about $18 more per year for water. So you're looking at it close to about $50 extra a year for your gas and water bill and as a result of these hikes. In a news release, the utility explained the increases are necessary to fund priorities and update natural gas and water infrastructure facilities, and it blamed that increase cost to natural gas for that increase. So again, if you think about why they didn't close down that plant on the north side, that coal plant, and again, looking at the cost of natural gas and just kind of a wake, if you will, from COVID-19 as far as gas prices. And we've seen that at the gas stations, over the last couple of years. But the rate is expected to hit on January 2nd. So that's right around the corner. So yeah, prepare again, prepare to look out for about, says about a 50 cent per month increase for gas infrastructure. But again, that adds up to about $26 per year and $18 per year for water. I feel like it's necessary though. I mean, we talk about the pipes in the water. If they're going to use that hike to replace some of that and update some of that, I'm here for it.
I mean, it don't sound like it's going to be too big of an increase, but I just don't like. MUD already is pretty gougy, man.
A little bit.
You know, like I don't want to hear MUDs increasing rates. I don't care if it is 3 cents. It's a hard piece of it's a hard headline for me because I've had some situations with them where I'm just like they gouge you, man. They, you know what I'm saying? Like it seems to me like, that as a matter of fact, this is the only place I've ever been that has like a tax for the water that you use. Like you, not just the water that's coming in, but then when you flush it.
Better make sure you flush it right the first time.
Yeah, they got you coming and going around here with the water bill.
But it's interesting because MUD is actually one of the only publicly owned utility districts in the country, right. So it's y'all that, I'm not living there anymore, but y'all that owns it, the people, the customers, which is quite interesting. I do want to add this to it. As I mentioned, the pipe changes in the infrastructure update, that's not the only thing that could be costing your MUD bill to go up. If it's about pipes updating, I'm here for it. The streetcar, not so much. In a separate news release, MUD relayed there were concerns from board members about the cost of developing the streetcar and how that might impact your costs for your MUD bill, while noting MUD is a longtime proponent and active participant in the development and growth of Omaha's urban core. The district said it wants to protect customers from bearing the main relocation costs associated with the project. In the news release, MUD says the streetcar initiative, without additional funding for main relocation, will result in additional costs to our ratepayers. So again, not only is it potentially looking like the streetcar project might tap in some of our tax dollars, but it also might cost your MUD bill to go up as well.
I heard Stafford on the news talking about it was going up anyway. There was changes that were happening, streetcar, no streetcar, where we were still going to have to do that infrastructure, so that rate was going to go up.
Yeah, there's a little back and forth going on in regards to the infrastructure in that area where they're proposing to build the streetcar. Mayor Stalter says MUD does not need to raise rates due to the streetcar. She says in the last 5 years, approximately 73 main breaks have occurred in the urban core. And to which MUD counter saying only about 13 main water breaks have happened on the near the route of the proposed streetcar. I'm not quite sure exactly how that plays into the back and forth. I'm thinking that and like exactly how does that equate to higher rates, for our tax or for MUD payers. But I'm thinking that's going towards the maintenance. If you develop a streetcar in the area where there's frequent water main breaks, then I'm guessing, again, this is a guess, that you might have to pull up some of that streetcar in order to fix those water main breaks, which might, cost more for the upkeep.
Man, I don't know, dude. It sounds like they're gonna pencil whip us to death, is what it sounds like to me.
Man.
Wanda Lewis in the chat says some of it has to do with the streetcar. MUD testifies at City Council on Tuesday, said due to the streetcar, they will have to move underground utilities such as water and gas for the streetcar, and developers didn't include it in their budget.
Okay, so there you go.
Rose Reviews is asking, are both or one of the utilities employee owned? Is the OPPD employee owned too?
It's publicly owned. No, I think OPPD is privately owned, and then MUD is publicly owned.
Okay,
I think. I'm not sure.
Wanda Lewis says MUD was trying to be transparent to the customers, and the city only agreed to pay half of what it's going to cost to relocate those utilities. The remaining costs will be transferred to the customers.
Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
that is also stated in the article. It says that the city, apparently the mayor's office offered MUD $5 million in project costs, and then also proposed for the remainder of the cost to be paid for with bonds, which I'm assuming would go towards taxpayers. MUD will repay the city over a period of time, which again will definitely come out of taxpayers' dollars. So yeah, it's just again very interesting with this whole streetcar project. It seems like, you know, the mayor is the only one that's, you know, well, not the only one, but the mayor and her constituents are, you know, the ones pushing this. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the public that aren't for this, and it seems like it's more and more is gonna, you know, we're figuring out it's gonna cost us more than we
Yeah,
were initially promised.
and that's really the point of the initial promise is to point the point to me. They definitely you know, they tried to do good with having a bunch of debates about this, a bunch of, you know, public debate and everything about this streetcar. And in these talks, they were promising it wasn't going to cost any more, you know, cost taxpayer money to do any of this stuff. And here we are. It's always something you got to go back on. Like here we are finding out that like, and I'm sorry, but those rate hikes probably. I mean, this is what Wanda Lewis is saying. Like a lot of this has to do with these rate hikes. Like we're already going to get the rate hikes are going to go up because they're figuring in new costs. Streetcar is definitely part of that. It's messed up. Wanda Lewis says MUD stated that they are already collecting money for the city for the sewer separation project. We haven't talked really a lot about that sewer separation project, but
Yeah,
that's yeah. Another thing, utilities that they will need to move underground are not due for an upgrade. So,
so they will only be moving them just for the streetcar.
and then have to go back and upgrade them at some point.
Okay, I get it. Okay, so, cause in the article again it says that the mayor's office says that there's been 73 main breaks in the urban core over the last 5 years, which MUD is countering, saying that is a gross overestimate. There's only been 13. So to Wanda Lewis's point, I say like there's been 73 main breaks. Y'all need to fix that stuff anyway. And MUD's like, no, we don't. It's only been about 13. Yeah, I get it. I get it now. I get it now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So now I see how that would lead to everyone's bill going up, because again, if MUD has to move that stuff for no reason other than the streetcar project itself, then they have to pay for that.
Mhm.
And the $5 million that the city offered apparently is only half of the cost of that. And the bonds again, man, trying to make us pay for it 5 different ways.
Mhm. The streetcar, we a lot of us ain't even gonna use. So
Or
you know,
don't want.
yeah, and a lot of us don't want, right? You know, this kind of stuff goes on all the time. It's really like I try to tamp down the shock of like these decisions because this stuff is happening all the time. It's just that we're kind of finally talking about some of it
Yeah.
and wrapping our heads around how they pencil whip the whole situation all the time. There's nothing that is going up that is not costing us money some kind of way.
Man.
Follow the money
Yeah.
all the way back to us every time.
And I'll be honest, had it not been for a platform like this, I look at it like, okay, streetcar, they'll do it, they won't. So what? It's a streetcar. But you kind of see the politics behind it and how they're doing this, man. It's kind of greasy,
Yeah, man.
kind of
St-
slippery.
speaking of slickery, Stacey Jean says, "I wonder how much kickback the mayor is getting for pushing her pet project."
That's what we're getting down to. that's the question.
Juana Lewis says OPPD has some issues with the streetcar as well.
Everybody does, except for the mayor and her, her cronies.
Greasy.
Greasy indeed. Keeping it moving, man. Speaking of greasy, the Keystone Pipeline just shut down.
Speaking of greasy,
Yeah, man. Speaking of greasy, the greasy people over at Canada TC Energy still trying to push this whole Keystone Pipeline situation. If you again are familiar, a little background again, the Keystone Pipeline was the cause of the many months of protests that happened in South Dakota. Of course, we've seen some human rights violations during that situation. People being sprayed with things and just very ugly human behavior. But again, it was all for the protection of the land and the water, and undoubtedly, these leaks continue. Again, the latest leak occurring near the border of Kansas and Nebraska, the shutdown of the major oil pipeline that carries crude oil from Canada triggered a vital.
Give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Fatality. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm not.
Vitality?
No, that's not it. That's not it. That's okay. That's not it. There's a couple of L's, couple of T's. It's throwing me all off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm usually good. I'm not gonna lie. It's throwing me off. But the shutdown definitely caused some issues in the energy market on Thursday, with oil prices briefly surging as much as 5% before retreating. Federal safety regulators are investigating the leak and have deployed to the site a spokesperson for the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration told CNN. Again, the company behind the pipeline, Canada's TC Energy, said it launched an emergency shutdown on the pipeline at 9 p.m. After alarms were triggered and pressure dropped in the system. The company said the system remains shut as our crews actively respond to work to contain and recover the oil. But again, to put this in perspective on how it affects us here, in the Midwest in Nebraska, again, the pipeline was proposed to go over the Ogallala Aquifer, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, freshwater aquifer in the country. Is where a lot of water comes from. A lot of our water comes from. And again, we talk about the nitrates in the water. Man, if we get oil in that water, it's a whole different story. That's all she wrote, man.
Now, I did hear that the leak supposedly didn't affect the drinking water. It didn't affect certain water systems, but there was still, thousands of gallons of oil that came through. And it makes me, this is one of those ones that we always trip on, because I guess around the time that when we were doing Mind and Soul, we were really following this. So we had people on that were, that were protesting. We were running Democracy Now! Show on Amy Goodman went up there and got arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been protesting this, saying this is what can happen. It's going to jack up our whole water table if something happens, if a leak happens. And leaks have been happening ever since they laid that pipeline. Ever since they laid the pipeline, it's been going on and on. So,
man.
Pop says that. Now that was a slick segue, buddy.
Okay, yeah, y'all like that? Y'all like that?
Speaking of greasy,
man. Also speaking of greasy, man. Look at the oil prices. Definitely follow the money for that. It's not just a safety hazard. It's not just a environmental hazard with these leaks. But the cost of oil, again, U.S. oil prices have climbed as high as $75 a barrel before easing. In recent trading, oil was up about 8% or 0.8%, excuse me, to about $72 a barrel. That gains follow a steep sell-off in recent days that left crude to levels unseen since December. So again, definitely pay attention to that as far as oil prices, because that of course affects shipping costs, that affects gas prices, affects a lot of things. So keep our eyes open.
Mayor Sanchez always coming with the good ideas. We need the hemp oil. Where's the hemp
oil?
Okay. Gwen Easter gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us over there on YouTube. Appreciate it. Once again, just want to put some thoughts out to the people. We've been saying that we're going to direct everybody to YouTube, and we still are. But we also want to put it out to the chat. If you guys are still Facebook and Twitter fans, and you still want it there, let us know. We'll definitely take those things under consideration. We are tending to funnel everybody into one spot so we can have a conversation in that one spot. And YouTube seems to be the best place to do that. But if we don't want to just do something, because we don't want to lose our chat chimers and lose people that want to contribute to the conversation here. So if you want to stay on Facebook, give us some feedback. If you want to stay on Twitter, give us some feedback. Kind of had a little bit of a thought about Twitter here those last couple of days too, just reading about Black Twitter and how much Black Twitter has actually done for the Black community in raising awareness for certain things too. So yeah, if Twitter goes away, Black Twitter is a resource that's the one thing about Twitter that I felt like was worth it. So, but it can be recreated in different spaces. But people are trying to hang on to Twitter too. I've had some people right away tell me, "Yes, stick with Twitter too. Don't leave yet." So, give us some feedback on that. Let us know. I also got a text from JaKeen Fox. He's not going to be able to make it. He got called into a meeting. So unfortunately, we will not have JaKeen Fox on this show this time. He will come back another show. We got 1 week until the break. Next Friday will be our season 4 break. So this is 1 week away from that, and hopefully we'll try to get JaKeen in sometime before that. Talk about some very important things he's got going on as well. Uh, but we are expecting another guest that's coming in from this the Holiday Lights event that's happening at Benson Theater. Murphy Wulfgar will be joining us here pretty soon as well, so stay tuned for that. But in meantime, between time, man, we can continue this conversation about power a little bit.
Yeah,
Sounds
man.
like there's a lot going on here that and really it's kind of the main topic when you start getting into this cold weather out here, man. You want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
messing with your heat, you know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah. I mean, of course, the weather itself, like the cold temperatures itself, can cause the power to go out, and then we're dealing with issues, and it's just kind of a conundrum because it's cold outside, and then the cold causes the power to go out, so you're stuck in the cold. But that's one thing. But when somebody does it deliberately, that's another.
Mm.
And that seems to be the case at several stations across the country, as reported by several outlets across the country. Big shout out, I believe, to Sister Marianne Williams for dropping this article in Friends of First Sky page. But it is being reported by the FBI, who are warning power stations across the country that there are individuals who seemingly are attacking power stations and causing thousands and thousands of households to go without power, man. And especially at a time like this, that is a very, very high cause for concern. And the latest issue coming out of North Carolina, where critical infrastructure buildings and stations were attacked on 2 substations actually in North Carolina, and it's an incident that cut power to about 10,000 residents for days. Actually, Washington law enforcement sources also confirmed that they received a memo from the FBI warning that there will be similar attacks in the Pacific Northwest. Officials in both Oregon and Washington have reported physical attacks on substations from people using hand tools, arson, firearms, and even metal chains to possibly responding in an online call for attacks on critical infrastructure. In recent attacks, criminal actors have bypassed security by cutting fence links, even lighting nearby fires, shooting equipment from a distance, or even throwing objects over fences onto power equipment, again, to render it useless. Some of the attacks happened within the last couple weeks. One of the largest power providers in the state, Puget Sound Energy in North Carolina, told King 5, the news outlet in North Carolina, that 2 incidents occurred at their station in late November. One of the representatives says, "We are aware of recent threats on power stations across the country and take these very seriously. We are monitoring our infrastructure and can confirm we have had 2 incidents occur in late November at 2 different locations, but both incidents are under investigation by the FBI." According to a journalist who has spent years researching this situation, it's coming from extremist groups. The trope of attacking power infrastructure, of hitting the electrical grid or other critical infrastructure entities, is an old tenet of the American extreme right wing, according to Ali Winston, who's an independent journalist. Again, residents in Clackamas County, Oregon, were lucky to leave unscathed with the lights on when there's a recent attack of their own during Thanksgiving. So again, earlier this week, reports of weather possibly taking power grids out, and now we're finding out that certain individuals, actors, are themselves attacking the power grid, which is a whole different situation, man. I mean, it essentially could be seen as an act of war if these really are extremist groups organizing themselves to effectively attack the American public.
Yeah. Yeah, if any other group was I feel like if any other group was doing something like this, it would be considered an act of war. They'd be cracking down on it a lot differently. But so I'm wondering, if why there hasn't been any more movement on protecting some of these places a little bit more, and it's interesting to find out that it's extremist groups that they feel like is behind this, and we all see all the time when extremist groups are behind stuff, a different sort of rules apply, different kind of punishments, different kind of action is taken,
Mm.
if any, a lot of times. So yeah, not surprised, but yeah, man, if you can think about things like that happening, and what I've read about this too is that it's people that understand a little bit about those systems, so they know exactly where to hit those power systems to bring them down. So it's people that are associated with, could be ex-employees or anything,
Some
you
inside
know.
info.
Yeah, they got inside info on where to hit these power stations. North Carolina's getting hit bad. So, it brings me back to, like, what Brother Valentine was talking about, "Man, let me go ahead and get this generator," and,
Man,
you gotta shore up your own space because there's so many factors against you on certain issues. It's tough. Oil be too much, for certain parts of the north of the country. They gotta, they really depend on that oil because of heating places. The coal, like the coal plant here in
man,
Nebraska, same thing. Those things are in jeopardy, but they also are people feel like they're necessary. How you gonna get through a winter without it? There's not there's no alternatives that can compete quite yet. Then you got the cold weather, just the poor infrastructure. Anyway, we reported one time about the outages that were happening here in Nebraska that originated in Texas. You
man.
know what I'm saying? Like, it goes on and on, man. It's haphazard, just like every other system is haphazard. You think that there's some order here, but sometimes it feels like there's not, and obviously no protection. What are these people doing?
That part. Well, again, it's as simple as cutting through a fence. As simple as cutting through a fence and just walking around security, or just walking up to a fence and throwing, a Molotov cocktail over the fence. You don't even gotta cut through the fence. Like, yeah, yeah. It seems like very, very little security on something that's so important to
Right.
so many people. So critical to life. Like, people need power, and just imagine, people, who are on like oxygen machines and actually need, what I'm saying, like need the power for life. It's very, very interesting. And speaking of that, that also makes me think of the hacks, the attacks on the hospitals, and
Right.
the hospitals being hacked over the last couple years. If there are domestic organizations and people in the country that are deliberately attacking the infrastructure like the power, could they be responsible for some of these attacks? And if that is the case, what's really going on?
Yeah, man. That's a war move when you think about it.
I'm
If
telling
you're
you.
if you're in war with a country, they're gonna try to hit your power structures first, your airports, your military installations. Those are on the list to hit. So there's no foreign power doing this. There's ain't nobody coming in from the outside trying to blow up the grid. That's inside the country happening.
I mean, they got people infiltrating, government positions. They've already stormed the Capitol. Now they're attacking our infrastructure. Like, what's next? What's next?
Brother Valentine in the chat says, think of the fragility of areas like North Omaha. Nonprofits and health centers are built in older buildings with no alternative power source. Whoo, man. Um, yeah. This is I was just talking about this the other day. The North Omaha is where some of the oldest houses and structures are
Mm-hmm.
that have not been updated, upgraded in a lot of ways. A lot of fires and stuff happen on this side of town, and even though we think that there's something behind that, sometimes it's also just because the houses are old and they didn't get built properly, and the electrical systems getting put in properly anyway. So, like, there's a lot. There's just a lot to it. There's a lot to it. The fragility of the area. I like that. I like that phrase.
Man, yeah. So again, this is definitely things we will continue to look out for. These attacks are under investigation by the FBI. But again, I'm left asking, man, what's next? So we'll see.
Very true.
We'll see.
7:44 right now, and if you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back and jump back into some stories. Thanks for everybody that's in the chat that's talking about things. Wanda Lewis is still talking about the streetcar, so we'll go back to that a little bit too, and talk about some of her comments there and some of the things that's going on. As you can see, directly affecting us taxpayers now, having the rate hikes and everything else over
Man,
and streetcar being one of the things that's making that happen. We'll take a quick break and come back and talk about that a little bit further. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
All Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
That they, the establishment, intend to play the role that government plays. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews played. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. Listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Paul
Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Paul Beeee. All of you chat timers, all of you ghost listeners, what's happening? Rose Review says we got 16 viewers and 6 likes on YouTube. Making it happen. That's what's up, man. Amy Huffle says, okay, Tune. Hey, you like that? All right, that's what's up. She said, made my face go scrunchy. I like that. We call that the funk face, baby. Funk face.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you ain't doing it. Really appreciate everybody that's jumping over on YouTube. We have been talking about exclusively going to YouTube during season 5, which starts January the 16th. But we are going back a little bit because, we're listening to you, the chat chimers, who are telling us you might want to hold on to Facebook, might want to hold on to Twitter. Give us your feedback on that. We already got some really good feedback. Amy Huffle especially is telling us about a feature of YouTube with if you're playing it on your phone and you got to do some other stuff, YouTube will keep playing so you can keep hearing the show while you do other things. That doesn't necessarily happen with Facebook. So, we're talking about features. We're talking about things that make it easy for us to keep the chat going and the conversation going. The chat chiming is what makes this thing go around. So I definitely want to hear from you about what you think ought to happen. We're definitely going to keep on trying to funnel people to YouTube because we have the most options to be able to do things over there that we can't do in other places. But should we keep the other social medias around for people that prefer that? Let us know. With that, it's 7:47 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if for those of you that were expecting JaKeen Fox to come on, he just gave me a text to let us know that he will not be making it today. I got called in for an emergency meeting, so he's I think he's over at Charles Drew now too. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we shout out to him for letting us know what's going on, but we'll try to have him back on before we get out of here before season 4 ends. That is. So yeah, thank you for that. But we do have a special guest coming up pretty soon here, talking about Holiday Lights. It's a show that's going on at the Benson Theater. Murphy Wulfgar will be in the house here pretty soon, and we'll be giving away some tickets. So stay tuned for that. Definitely giving away tickets for Holiday Lights. There's a few shows going on. It's not just a one-day show; it's actually a run. So you'll be able to many chances to be able to go check it out if you're so inclined. And so stay tuned for him. Sean McCarthy in the chat says, I like Facebook, but can totally understand not wanting to go back to it.
Definitely.
We've got people that are saying that the only reason why they have Facebook was to catch our show. So they were very happy when we went over to YouTube. Mama God says, well, back in the cold. Oh, and back with my First Sky fam in the morning. Howdy. Good morning to you. Glad to see you again. I hope you had a fun trip. Good trip. Sounded like you took on some babies and did some traveling around. So that's what's up. Shout out to Mama God, man, holding it down. That's what's up.
Definitely.
Yeah. Meantime, between time, buddy, what's going on? We're still talking about this power situation, aren't we?
Well, no, actually, that pretty much does it for the power. But it's interesting because that whole MUD conversation, and then shout out to Sister Wanda Lewis again, man. We appreciate you talking in the chat. You don't talk too much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. She's making some good points, giving some insight on the city council meeting on Tuesday, where this MUD conversation had happened, and apparently it took up a lot of time, so much time that the city council didn't really get into the housing conversation, which we're going to jump into here in a second, but I did want to read from Wanda Lewis's comments She says, when an expert went before city council on Tuesday to testify against the streetcar, he was speaking facts that the developers failed to consider or disclose. I was watching on TV, and approximately 3 minutes into his testimony, the sound was cut. Is it possible they didn't want us to hear it? I had to go to the internet on the city page to finish watching it for sound. Later on, she says the expert, Mr. Rubin, came all the way from California to speak before the city council. Kudos to city council members for giving him the same time that they gave proponents who those in favor of the streetcar. And it's interesting, Paul, if you remember, Omaha World Herald did a report on this guy, this Mr. Rubin guy from San Francisco. He's supposed to be the streetcar expert. And he was supposed to come in to help them sell it, and he's speaking against it in city council, which is very
that's pretty telling.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And then finish up, she says the developers are not very good at estimating costs or purposely leave things out for the project to be considered, just like the demolition of the library. Extra cost was incurred after the project had already begun. So again, a lot of conversation happening around the streetcar and you know how that will impact the city. But it has also indirect impacts. Again, the conversation of the streetcar situation went on so long that city council was not able to vote on the long-awaited housing affordability plan. Another hot topic here on the show. Apparently, the 4 hours that it took to cover this MUD streetcar conversation caused the city council to push it back for another week to allow everyone who wants to testify in the situation enough time to do so. So that is good news. At least they're giving everyone enough time to speak their piece and are, again, allowing everyone, regardless of position, on the housing conversation to, again, be heard. And after hours of public comment from citizens, stakeholders, landlords, and organizations, again, the vote to approve was called the HAAP, or the Housing Affordability Action Plan, was pushed until next week. Council members again recognized that several community members intended to bring their thoughts and opinions forward, but was not given enough time. One woman in support of the plan says women in particular, women with families, are disproportionately impacted by the affordable housing crisis and lack of resources and protections in our community about housing. Another man who was not in support of the plan says, I have vehemently, oppose the plan. I think I could have been written in a much more friendly way and taking in consideration things that work and things that don't work. So again, there's landlords and organizations and people in support, and definitely your average everyday other people who are trying to push this plan forward. Not really happy what I'm hearing from the plan. One person actually speaking of the plan says the plan shows absolutely little interaction with landlords. They talk about the special interest and they're all good things, but they're not talking to the landlord, which again, Mama God has kind of brought that up. She is definitely her and my stepfather are working on, having some property, and, they're just, what is rate cost? What about the landlord portion in this conversation? So again, it is a very, very interesting conversation, and I'm glad that city council is taking the time to hear everybody.
Yeah, that's what's up. Michael Watts, who's been very vocal in Friends of First Sky Omaha and on the show, appreciate you coming on through, bro. Says North Omaha should put him on retainer. I'm talking about that dude. That brother could.
Mr. Rubin.
Yeah, man. Teach others, speak to elected officials. Yeah, you gotta. It's funny, man, because the first time I ever really kind of spoke to an elected official, I was thinking about their stature, not consciously, but I'm sure that affected the way that I was speaking. Until this show definitely has turned the corner on that a little bit for me, where it's just like, these are people and half of them don't know what the heck they doing in the first place. And we need to have some real time, real talk is what I call it, like real time, real talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about some things. I ain't got to be rude to you, but I am going to tell you where you're messing up for sure. So, so very interesting. Yeah, very interesting things that they brought him in to consult on this thing and sell it. And he's like, nah, that's not a good idea. That's what's up. Really appreciate those comments as well. Jumping in the chat, man. Tracy Shot says good morning. I like YouTube. People are giving us feedback. This is what people are talking about. Marianne Williams says good morning. All I listen on YouTube because I can do other things on my phone, but I go to FB to comment. Okay, she says, I'm low vision and YouTube doesn't allow me to enlarge text like FB does. It's doable though. Oh, good information. Good
Okay.
information. Appreciate that very much. Wanda Lewis says it's hard for me to do other things, other activities while listening to First Sky because you all are going to speak on something that strikes a nerve with me. It's hard for me to not speak on it.
Hey, speak on it then.
See, this is why we need you fully engaged. We appreciate that for sure. Let's see. Rome's review says keep the Facebook feed, read only YouTube comments, gives incentive to subscribe. Questions? Okay,
Some things to think about.
Here for it. Appreciate your input. Vicky Young gives us a good morning with some sunshine. That's what's up. Real time, real talk. There you go. Appreciate that very much. So yeah, thanks for the feedback on that. Again, we're talking about whether or not, we were saying that we're going to funnel everybody over to YouTube, which we still are going to encourage you to get a YouTube account and do that. But I'm glad I'm getting feedback on whether or not we need to keep Facebook in the Twitter feeds as well. Sounds like we're leaning towards everybody wants to keep it like it is a little bit, which I don't blame them. But we will be utilizing the things that YouTube has to offer a little bit more too. So that'll be the main page, and then maybe we'll go ahead and keep on broadcasting in these other spots. But keep giving us your feedback on that. Love to hear about it. Love to hear where you're at. Also, I know the radio channel. There's people that just listen, ghost listeners, especially on the radio channel. So shout out to you guys that are there. If you ever want to comment, come on over to YouTube and comment, man. We want to hear from you too for sure. So anyway, moving along, it's 7:56 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we do have a special guest that's coming in here pretty soon. Murphy Wulfgar. He's going to be talking a little bit about a show that's happening at the Benson Theater called Holiday Lights, and we'll be talking to him very shortly as well. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, between time, I just want to give a shout out to people who are on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Really, man, we get to go there and see what you guys want to talk about, and you guys are bringing some really, really good information out for a lot of different things. So really appreciate that. Brianna Full dropped something in with a long explanation of the reason why she was dropping it in and what it all means. And it's just it's great. It's great to be able to have that the feedback that happens there. If we're not live, then we're talking a little bit on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. So that's what's up. Really appreciate that. Buddy, what you deep in thought in over there? I see you over there. Your wheels turning. You got something brewing.
No, I'm just looking through this next article.
What you got up your sleeve?
man. Well, I don't have anything up my sleeve, but I'm kind of curious as to what Don Klein is up to, man. Yeah, I'm not.
Don Klein is declining to do his job. Is what we gonna call him Decline from now on.
Decline.
He's declining to do his job. I'm sick of hearing about the grand jury doing this every time. I'm tired. Let them know what's going on, boss.
Man, yeah, this report coming through this morning, or actually last night, from Omaha World Herald, Douglas County grand jury finds no fault in authorities' actions in 9 in custody deaths. Again, this goes back, for me, reminds me of the Kenneth Jones situation and how the death of Kenneth Jones was handled. I believe that was late 2020. Mm-hmm. When that situation took place. But again, the situation or the handling of it has come back around. The Douglas County grand jury has investigated and found no fault in the action of law enforcement officers or jailers in the case of 9 people who died while in custody or in the presence of police. 2 high-profile cases involved the January death by natural causes of an Omaha man who had tried to kill his wife and daughter by setting their house ablaze, and the July death of a man who pointed a shotgun at officers who were serving him a protection order. Again, all told, the grand jury, which meets in secret, was led by Douglas County Attorney Don Klein, and they all took 2 days to investigate the 9 deaths. Again, under state law, a grand jury is required to convene anytime someone dies while in custody or while in contact with police. Now, the issue that we're having with this is the feeling that all of these cases aren't really given their due diligence. Again, 9 cases investigated over 2 days. Again, going back to the Kenneth Jones situation, his case was wrapped up in about 15 different other cases, and they, I believe, convened over the period of like a day or two. It was not a long time as far as investigation, as far as deliberation. We've seen, single cases with just one case drag out much longer than that. It's just very interesting how it's being handled. should these be handled on a case by case basis? Is this going against due process? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder about the grand jury just in general. What's the process for you going through? Is no fault? You find no fault, no police fault ever? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the track record here on this? They ever found the police at fault for anything? Is it always that it's justifiable? Or, we're not just talking about police killings, but we're talking about people dying in prison,
Yep.
under weird circumstances, all kinds of stuff. Like not just direct confrontation, but you're in custody and you're handcuffed somewhere for too long and die, and something happens. I mean, there's no accountability for nothing. Nobody left somebody sitting on a bench too long. No, it doesn't make any sense to me how that happens, and to be able to go through that fast just doesn't. And it be secret and fast is the things that make me feel like, why don't you take a little bit more time to look into this? Is people dying here, so let's. But to me, it gives me that feeling and impression that, just like, well, they're just criminals. We don't need to give them all the everything that we would give everybody else. Whatever it's just garners this bad attitude in my eyes, like this attitude they got about police are going to be right all the time. Everybody else is going to be wrong, and that's just what it is. And so we're not looking into this deeply. I don't see how you can. Now, I don't know what their process is completely. I don't know if they have been investigating things over time, and then this was just the culmination of a decision. I don't know what's going on with it, but it doesn't. And I don't know because it's closed. These are private meetings that these people are having about deaths. Does the family get to find out about what the grand jury decided? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like no.
Some of the things considered, I guess, during this process, according to this report, it says Klein referenced public records, including autopsy results, while providing information about the deaths.
Yeah. Rose Reviews in the chat says, is there a scale of incompetency where minor things can have a consequence? Something to think about. Wanda Lewis says the reason why they are at fault is because they are just locking people up without knowledge of mental health or medical history. They ignore the needs of inmates, try to communicate issues with them. There should be your pre-screening to determine if that person needs to be locked up or in a facility such as a hospital or a mental health facility. Where what happened to the promises? What happened to the promises of mental health professionals accompanying them? Yeah, what happened to those promises about the mental? I know that we only got a few mental health officers or whatever they're called. Maybe even just one. Last time I checked. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These are questions that happen. People are you don't necessarily are going through any kind of health screening when you get arrested. And people be having heart attacks, and you know what I'm saying, like all kinds of stuff be going down that you just kind of looked over, ignored. I mean,
to that point, two specific cases that were reviewed by this grand jury, 2 of these 9 cases were that instance directly. 26-year-old Kevin Robertson, that's very young, 26, collapsed in a cell at the Douglas County Jail. He was taken to a hospital and died 2 days later of necrotizing pancreatitis complicated by chronic alcohol abuse. That's according to an autopsy. But he's 26. Like, how much alcohol abuse can you have in 26 years to cause kidney failure? And then also there's a 70-year-old who died overnight, died in his sleep, and the cause of death was hypertension and heart disease. So could that have been prevented?
I don't know, but like again, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say it was law enforcement's fault that the person had a heart attack. But there's a bigger conversation here about whether or not you ought to be able to treat prisoners more humanely in the first place. Health screenings and everything else. Like, if you really cared about people dying on your watch, then you do more. It doesn't seem like it's a priority.
Yeah,
they just want to make sure that they ain't at fault.
Yeah, and that's is that like, although morally, like, should there be more done? Probably. But legally, are they at fault? Probably not. Which is definitely part of the conversation here. But more so just how these cases are being handled, as far as what is the process, the secrecy, and the small amount of time that they're running through, such large amount of cases.
Seems like a lot of CWA, man. Cover your ass.
What is hey?
The show I watched, they call that London Rules. London Rules of CWA.
Okay.
Moscow Rules is cover your back.
Okay.
Pops is saying, what is the racial makeup of these 9?
It's a good question as well. Again, it's a lot of secrecy surrounding this whole grand jury process. Maybe we'll have to, talk to the dynamic duo, talk to Terrell McKinney, Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Jesse Wayne, put some respect on their names, because again, this is law. This is state law that requires this grand jury process. Could there be tweaks?
Yeah, maybe we even get Decline on if he would come.
Possibly. Again, Don Klein was the one who sat and presided over this grand jury, and if you remember with the James Skerlock situation, he was removed, and that situation was not necessarily removed, but he did not preside over that grand jury, and it seemed like that situation was a little more transparent, just handled a little differently.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Rome's Review says if families find out about things, they could be held to gag order in circumstances where a lawsuit may get a settlement.
Yes.
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know some women who died in prison over some birth situations.
Wow.
And there were some gag orders and some of that activity going on in the background.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, man.
Wanda Lewis says women have also alleged that their personal hygiene needs are not being met.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you die from pregnancy. Like, women, having irregular periods and things like that, severe cramping, and not being listened to, not being treated.
Yeah, they're not that. I can see them having an attitude. We're not here to treat people's stuff. We just make sure that we play by London rules, and it ain't our fault. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Amy Hudson says, here's the deal: a dog or cat gets a health screening and update. Look, she's speaking my language now. A dog or cat gets health screenings and update on vaccinations when they're taken into a shelter. What would happen if we literally treated humans better than we treat animals?
Man, Paul, I know that's she's speaking your language.
Amy, you my friend. See, people are always like, Paul B don't like dogs. No, Paul B don't like how society treats dogs better than people. That's what Paul B don't like. I'm not with it. But you're absolutely right. And they'll bring you into the humane society and give you all these give the animals all these health screenings and vaccinations just to euthanize them later. You know what I'm saying? Like, Carolyn, what's up? Good morning. I made it. Carolyn's over at YouTube now. Appreciate you coming on over there. Appreciate that, Purple Fam. That's what's up. Appreciate that very much. Wanda Lewis says that part. Man, come on, bro. They'll vaccinate animals and stuff before they get you. It is what it is with that. Like, I feel like it's that punishment thing that we always talk about. That paternalistic kind of attitude, and the fact, and criminals, like you're a criminal. You don't hold up these man-made laws, and so you're a criminal. So we don't care about you. We're going to arrest you. Whatever you got going on, that's your life, your business. As long as we didn't, But what's negligence? What is you just throw somebody in jail. You don't check to see. You throw a 70-year-old person in jail, and you don't have a physician come check to make sure his heart can take it or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Well, he shouldn't have been in jail. He messed up. He shouldn't have been there in the first place.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of
our fault. It's not our fault that he's 70. So it's anyway.
Yeah.
Grand jury. I think grand jury process needs to be different. It needs to be more transparent. I think Don Klein. I think somebody else needs to head it up. And I think it's messed up, man. I need to do more research, but when have we ever seen any blame get put on anybody else in any of these circumstances? And when has the case gone long? When has a case gone longer, not been grouped up with a bunch of other cases? First of all, and then looked at longer than 2 days. Wanda Lewis says same thing for those on death row. They'll keep them alive and healthy so they can kill them later. That's crazy, man. Insane.
Man, actually, before we get off of this, I do kind of want to segue into another case or situation that has been making news really around the world, man. The case of Brittney Griner, speaking of paternalism and punishment and things like that. If you don't know, Brittney Griner is one of the top WNBA stars. Very, very talented sister. But she has spent the last 10 months in a Russian prison. Not just in prison, but in a Russian prison, and not also a Russian prison, but she was later moved to a Russian penal colony.
Yeah, they sent her to
man,
deep in the snow.
Man, deep and somewhere in the Siberian mountains.
Gulag, Siberia.
Man, sent her to the gulag. For what? For what? A minuscule amount of hash oil that she was prescribed, mind you, that she apparently did not know that she had. Again, Brittney is a WNBA player, but she also plays in Russia during the summers, and she was going to Russia to prepare to play to begin her season. And during her travel, she tried to go through customs, and they found what was known as a hash pen or some type of CBD pen or something. That was enough again to put her in prison. But luckily, she was recently released for a prison swap, which is something that the Biden administration have been working on for quite some time. The announcement of Brittney Griner's release in a prisoner swap came out Thursday morning as one of shock and jubilance, of course, around the world, as both the WNBA and NBA communities were definitely celebrating yesterday. The Griot, who was reporting this story, was also on the ground at the White House in the early morning hours as part of the presidential pool that was summoned several hours before the announcement. And the Griot was alerted about movement on the historical moment. In an unexpected call, President Biden emerged from the Oval Office, and Biden said Griner was in good spirits. Minutes before addressing the nation, the president spoke with Brittney Griner on the phone inside the Oval Office, and also with Griner's wife, Sherelle Griner. Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken also stood beside the president during his remarks. Again, Griner should be home within 24 hours, so she should be touching American soil today. But this is definitely a interesting saga, to say the least.
She already has. She's touched down.
Okay.
So what's interesting about this? Of course, we're all glad that she's back. Of course, it was BS that she was there in the first place. But the moves that the Biden administration had to make was trading her freedom for the freedom of a captured arms dealer.
Yep.
And they're talking about that very heavily because they're like, during this time of war, especially in Ukraine, Russia is getting back this person that could be an asset to the war that way. And what kind of trade was that? They also had grouped Brittney up with a captured soldier, as a matter of fact, that they were trying to get out as well. I can't remember what his name was, but they were trying to say again.
Wheeler.
Yeah, and they didn't allow that one.
Or Wheelan.
So there's a lot. So there you go. So now all the news that I've been hearing is, hey, yeah, Brittney's out. But here's this other guy that didn't get out, and let's talk to his family about how disappointed they are. That's where the news has been leaning on all these things. Pops is speaking, is reading between the lines. She was a political pawn. She should have never ever been detained. That was Russia making a move. And U.S. too, political pawn from the U.S. too. Like, she was high profile, very high profile. And that was part of this thing too. Like, they kept things real high profile on her in order to play these kind of political games. It seems like to me. So yes, as we're happy that she's back, because she was, that was messed up. She was there in the first place. There's a lot of people chiming up about how and what the Biden administration did and why. What was the reasoning behind really pushing for this to the point of like giving up an arms dealer criminal cat to get her back? Like,
man, and just to put in perspective, just who this arms dealer cat is, they made a movie about him. If you ever seen this film, this was largely based on his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Responsible for the deaths of millions with some of the ammunitions and missiles that he sold. And yeah, made a movie about him.
This is the cat they let Putin have back. Okay.
Yeah. For Brittney Griner.
So you got to wonder, Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were all worried about the fact that she's gonna get left over there because she's part of the LGBTQ community. She's black. She's a
Mhm.
player. They're not gonna do nothing to get her, and then they go that far to get her back. Like, what's going on, Biden administration? I want to know. Also, I'm seeing my man Ronnie Shields in the house. What's going on, Bo? He's talking about CBD is seen as the same as THC in Russia. Yeah, yeah, that was yeah. It wasn't even a thing that she had on. It was nothing. Pops called it. Russia pulled her and pulled this arrested this high profile person to be like, see, we can do this. We have this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we got the
Man,
power.
man.
And
Having spent, you lived in Russia, or you lived in Europe for a little.
yeah.
And you said you have some friends who are from Russia and things like. Can you like give a little background? Just what is Russia like? What are the prisons like? How bad are the prisons? Like what could what do you imagine that she was going through?
Prisons are really bad. I had a fiance that lives in Russia, and her brother has been in jail.
Mm.
Prisons are bad, really, really bad. The government they're always playing political games that way. They still say that being gay is against the law. They'll throw you in jail for being gay. I mean, it's still one of them kind of countries, man. It's got that kind of mess going on. And and so yeah, but really like the fact that she was so high profile, like Pop said, she was a political pawn there. And to me, that's obvious. But the question is,
Right.
how was she a political pawn here? That's the question. Like, what did Biden do? Why this? In the chat, Rome's Review says, "Glad she is home. International celebrity, you have to know you can be a pawn anytime. I could care less." Uh, what's the name that you're using over here? Kasuda one. Okay, I'm so happy she made it home safely. I'm also pretty disgusted at some of the reactions to her release. Yeah,
Yeah. And
Ukraine probably not happy, right?
probably not.
They done
But it is,
brought the God of War home. So
man.
during a war with Ukraine. So okay.
And that war part of it, the war games portion of it, because you got to take in consideration who the Wheeling cat who didn't come home, who he was, as far as not just he wasn't just a soldier. Like the reason he's captured is because he was engaging in espionage. Like he was an American spy that was spying in Russia and got caught. And well, yeah, allegedly.
Because the family says that's not the case. The family says he's there unjustly. America, the government says he's there unjustly. That's why they was trying to get him back.
And to your point of again, just what does it mean for America? It is interesting. The Grio reports that the United States, in the past, has resisted hostage negotiations. The Grio asks administration officials about the precedent this prisoner trade sets for future hostage trades, to which an official noted administrators have long resisted, wherever possible, releasing individuals early from our justice system who have earned time in our law enforcement system. And at the same time, administrators before ours also made exceptions to the extraordinary in rare cases where that is proven through extensive negotiations the only way to bring an American home. And now, given how extremely rare this is, any inference that somehow this will become the norm would be mistaken. So to your point, even more, Paul, again, this is a rare case. So it's not just, the fact that the stance or the stature or the profile of the people traded, this basketball player for this merchant of death, as they call him, but just the rare nature of prisoner trades in itself does cause you to think like, why? New GL saying re-election.
Man. A lot of people not happy with Biden. Pop says, I understand the thinking of those who feel the trade was not good, but just imagine that she had been your sister, daughter, etc. I'd give up a whole prison of terrorists to get my daughter back. Yeah, you might. But who is Brittney Griner to Biden? I give up Biden to get my sister back. But who is Brittney? You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be different if that was his sister, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be, if there's other political prisoners over in Russia, because even the dude we're talking about here, even the guy that's been convicted of espionage, he got on the air this morning on NPR and named out 5 other cases of people that are there unjustly in prison. he talked about how each case is different, and maybe they shouldn't have grouped his not the guy who got arrested, his brother. They said they should. He was maybe they shouldn't have grouped my brother in with Brittney Griner to try to get them both out. I can see why they wanted to, but each case is different. And then he started naming off other cases. So again, I can't help but feel a little bit like brownie points for Biden for doing, hey, you know what'll make him really like me? Let me get Brittney Griner out by any means necessary.
Yeah, I mean that definitely bodes as well for the so-called black vote and the so-called LGBTQ vote.
And it's real. What's really interesting is that it still seems like nobody is satisfied with Biden. He didn't gave out millions of dollars. He didn't gave us money. He didn't got Brittney Griner home. He you know what I'm saying. He didn't got a black justice in. Like he done a whole bunch of stuff, and we still like, yeah, Biden still ain't the dude. I don't know.
It's interesting. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the chat. Are you happy with Biden? How's he doing? Let us know.
Yeah, man. Interesting stuff. 8:21 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we just talk. We going for it now. Just in the conversation.
Yeah. I will wrap it up with this though. As far as Biden and his perspective with this whole prisoner trade and swap, an official did say that in the rare case where there is an imperative to bring Americans home, which is a real priority for this president, there sometimes are no alternatives left and a heavy price has to be paid. So they're kind of just pushing it as we ain't had no choice.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Brooke says, what about school band forgiveness though? See, that's what I'm saying. Biden, he might get some reparations, but by the time he get out,
still might not be enough. Well,
we learned from the Obama days that the president doesn't have all power. You can decide you want to do something anyway, and a whole bunch of people can vote it down. It's in the Supreme Court now about this school forgiveness, just because some governors and senators and chimed up about it. So there you go. Michael Watts is saying too many promises from Biden and Democrats, and he also says too much hate from Republicans. Yeah, I mean, we it's interesting that our arc and journey on this show. From Mind and Soul days when they were calling us the most left radio in Omaha,
man,
and then to now to where we're like we're looking at it all, bro. We're gonna have some serious discussions about why there's so many people leaving the Democratic Party. There's the activists and people out here that have got on social media here in this last week. Like, I'm leaving the Democratic Party. I'm going independent. I just heard a news report of another governor. Was it a governor? Some high-ranking official that just announced they're going independent as well. People are dissatisfied with it. Vicky Young said he's not just seeking to secure the black vote, but the vote of the black woman.
Man,
I mean, we can go all the way back to him bringing Kamala on. Like, I get a black woman for my running mate. You know what he's doing?
Yeah, won't be wrong.
Michael Watts says black folks should be mad at everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Look, I like I said, man, I grew up in California during the Clinton years, and the Clintons put a whole bunch of three-strike people, came up with the three-strike thing, put a bunch of people in jail. Hillary Clinton was calling people savages and
super predators
and all kinds of stuff, bro. Like the Democratic Party, you know what I'm saying? Like the Democrats, same thing, bro. Like they've been law and order, just like the Republicans for a minute.
Man,
Michael Watts says nobody's celebrating bacon voting for equal marriage. This is true. Because I mean, where was Bacon stand on? Bacon's been standing with Trump on so many other things. Oh no, man. Rome's review says I've never been happy with any president of the United States.
Pretty much.
With that said, 8:24 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's take a quick break. Come back. We'll have an extensive hap, so stay tuned for that. I'm not sure what's going on with our second guest. Looks like that might not happen either. So we apologize for the guest's situation here today. But we always got plenty of things to talk about. Right before we go to the break, Sean McCarthy in the chat. Thanks for joining us over there on YouTube. He says, I think one problem is that these parties have been essentially static for the past 50 or 60 years. And that was before millennials and Gen Z where there needs to be another party better catered to today. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are jumping independent for sure. Michael Watts says, but we give blank check of thanks to anything Democrats do. Not all of us, bro. Like I said, I'm learning. I'm learning. A lot of people that I did not expect voted for Trump, and will vote Republican again. And
Yeah.
these are folks in the black community, and they're not Herschel Walker type cats. These are cats that are thinkers, and they've got some valid points. Let's take a quick break, man, because it's cold outside. I need to feel like I'm right near the beach.
Hey.
Speaking of which, if y'all ain't seen that video of Precious trying to eat that oyster on half shell, hilarious.
Nah, I missed it. I gotta go back.
She is in Puerto Rico living it up right now.
Man, right near the beach.
You gotta check it out. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah. Right near the beach. My main Damies is going down. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yep. Chat chimers, ghost listeners, what say you about all these things? Vicky Young said, "Let Precious be great." Woo! I loved it. That video made me happy seeing her make that island move. I like it. I like seeing her out there, man, relaxed a little bit and all that. Just
Deserves it.
Wanda Lewis says, "You guys are holding it down. We're satisfied with the conversation. Let us vent." Okay.
Hold it down.
What we're doing, man. We're trying to hold it down. So appreciate it very, very much. Thank you to everyone who has chimed into the chat and all these discussions. Season 5 is coming up January 16th. We're going to start season 5. We're going to take a break in December 16th, take that month off. And so we can get some things ready and get in there, prepare for some changes in 2023. And like I said, that'll start back up January 16th. And we're gonna try to keep things rolling even more so. Okay, so it looks like our guest is having trouble with the link. Let me try to get a new link to the guest so we can get the guest in real quick. And okay, so there might be something that's on the program side that's messed up. So, Buddy, why don't you go ahead and jump into something? Let me see if I can get things going with our special guest here. And we'll continue from there.
Will do. So yeah, man, we'll continue again, getting close to the end of the 4th season, which is our theme is following the money, follow the bag, if you will, and we're going to continue to do that, man. The latest update or good news coming in the community. The Simple Foundation, which is a nonprofit of Omaha, has been awarded $6 million. Again, more nonprofit news. This is coming from ARPA funds. Again, $6 million in ARPA funds for crime prevention and related internships. That's according to the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, who made the announcement Wednesday. The funds come from the $335 million Economic Recovery Act, which was passed earlier this year, which again will help pay for the business park near Omaha's Eppley Airfield. So the legislation designated certain amounts to such areas as crime prevention, the business park, and also affordable housing. So some of those funds are already going out are being dispersed throughout the community. The largest chunk is to go to lower income areas of the state, of course, including North and South Omaha. The $6 million earmarked now for the Simple Foundation is the crime prevention designation or portion of that plan. State Senator Justin Wayne put some respect on his name, says the idea is for the foundation to collaborate with other groups on crime prevention programming. Also, in a media release on Wednesday from the Department of Economic Development, they say the $6 million to the Simple Foundation is also intended to respond to the negative economic impacts of the pandemic public health emergency. And of course, according to its website, the Simple Foundation says it provides programs for immigrants and refugees and low to moderate income youth to help cultivate life skills and physical well-being. It also offers a soccer academy and summer camps. So just from a quick view of their website, they do have several different programs, and also from a view of their board, because I'm not familiar with the Simple Foundation, but actually I do recognize their building right by the Southside Terrace, if I'm not mistaken, like 13th and Q area. But I'm familiar with some of their board members. Definitely the Asaka, I believe they're all brothers. Asaka brothers, Aminatu Asaka, Osman Asaka, who was actually a mentor of mine in high school through Omega Sci-Fi and the Squires, and then Sal Asaka, who most people might know, who's the director for Omaha Housing Authority.
Okay, so some names that you recognize, some people that you know have been doing some good work in the community. I too did not know who the simple
Foundation.
foundation was. Yeah, and there were some questions in the Friends of First Sky Omaha that were really kind of asking about that. Like who these cats, what's their track record, for these things. Good questions, man. You tell me, you looked at the site earlier. Can you talk a little bit about more about what you saw with the site?
Yeah,
Their whole program and everything. Yeah, we can take a look at it, but what was your impression is what I'm.
I mean, yeah, the site definitely looks clean, man. Again, just more so looking at in this video, there's a building. I actually remember going to this building in high school with some friends who were getting some services there. Again, I believe the building is located like 13th and Q. I want to say like right in front of the Southside Terrace apartments.
Mm-hmm.
But as you see, several different programs. Again, as mentioned in the article, they offer a soccer academy, but also family advocacy resources. They offer a girls program for some of the Buddi3 girls or some of the immigrant youth. Also, international initiative program. Again, some of the Asaka brothers who are board members are themselves immigrants. So again, and of course, you know a lot of South African, a lot of South Sudanese refugees in South Omaha area. So they definitely serve those communities. But really, all communities in need. It seemed like. Again, I'm not too familiar with the Simple Foundation. But from a quick glance at their website, it looks pretty good. Again, I would love to hear from anyone in the chat who is familiar with either the board members or any of the work that the Simple Foundation does.
Yeah. So and of course we can always work on trying to get somebody from that organization on and talk a little bit about that stuff too. So they getting a bunch of money, man. I like to see what they're gonna do. We're gonna follow the money on that and see what they're gonna do with it in order to prevent crime is what that's supposed to be for. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works out. And hopefully they'll, that $6 million can be dispersed, and they do partner with other organizations. I mean, again, they're right there by the Southside Terrace where there is a lot of, activity, going on. So that's understandable. Hopefully they can, attract some of those youths and some of those community members. But I would like to see, maybe the BAA get involved or some other organizations tap in so we can really get, a north, south, east side connection going.
most def. With that said, we'll pick up that conversation a little bit more. We got our special guests in the house, so that's what's going on. We finally have figured out what was going on in the program. Kind of gave us a messed up code, all that good stuff. Let's see. Okay, well let's see. What we'll do is we'll bring Murphy on and we'll talk a little bit and more. We'll get with you in just a second if you can hear us. I'm not sure if you can, but ladies and gentlemen, we got our friend Murphy Wulfgar on. and he's going to talk to us a little bit about holiday lights. Murphy, how are you doing this morning, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hanging in there. Not a little under the weather. I think I've caught something last night and kind of coming down with something, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, I woke up this morning a little bit like,
Yeah.
so I'm NyQuil'd up and Benadrylled up and here. So
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around. It's scary.
it really is. Yeah, they like we were talking earlier. Some schools and stuff got shut down.
Yeah.
Because their teachers were sick. So that was a trip. I want to show everybody this video before we get started here, just to let them see what's going on. Check this out. Get them in the holiday spirit there a little bit. That's what's up.
Nice.
Get them in the holiday spirit. So you're here to talk to us. First of all, let us know who you are and what kind of stuff do you do, man. Let our audience know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Murphy Wulfgar. I am the executive director of the St. Bridget Theater Company. We're a tiny little theater company that we're actually celebrating our 30th year this year.
Nice.
And I've been one of the co-founders from the beginning. So yeah, I'm just a local artist who's been doing theater in Omaha for 30 years now. I did a little bit of venturing out into film and TV and stuff up in Chicago and in Kansas City and St. Louis, and then came back to Omaha because my dad got dementia and was taking care of him. And then once he passed, I realized I just didn't like the hustle of running, to an audition, driving 8 hours to Chicago for a toothpaste audition that I knew I was never going to get in the first place. Started writing my own material and I never really left the theater. I was working, even when I was doing that kind of stuff, I was still behind the scenes with St. Bridget, doing the website and doing PR and that kind of thing. But now I just have really gotten into doing what I call immersive theater, like found space theater. St. Bridget doesn't have a space for itself, so we like to do things around the city in other locations and kind of introduce places to other people, or find a play and then match it to a location, or find a location that I think is really cool and then go, okay, I need to go write a play or find a play that I can do in this space. And I have ADHD, so I'm a neurodivergent performer, and I'm also Jewish. So over the last 5 years, I've been exploring my heritage through my work, and doing some shows that have revolved around the Holocaust and around other issues. And as you'll see with Holiday Lights, there's an element of that too in the work.
Okay. Hey, Murphy, do me a favor. Are you on your computer or a phone or what device?
My computer.
Okay. We're having a little trouble hearing you. There's some interference going on there with your audio. Do you have a phone sitting next to the computer at all?
I do.
Okay. Might put that away a little. You might have some digital noise, digital signal there that's kind of getting in the way there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No, didn't really help.
Okay, yeah, I think I had this problem streaming before when I did a Google stream.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
If I disconnected my microphone and reconnected it, that sometimes works.
Oh yeah, go ahead and try that then. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah,
we'll coming in a little robotic.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then we'll have you come out of we'll have you come out and come right back in, and sometimes that resets some things.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, while you get that going, we're going to bring on our other special guest that's in the house right now, our friend Moira from the Benson Theater and from just theater in general in Omaha. How you doing this morning?
Good, doing great.
Good. Okay, that sounds
Hello,
good.
welcome.
I appreciate you coming through. You've had some lot to do with this Holiday Light show as well, and
I have.
Yeah, tell people who you are and what you got going on.
I work at the Benson Theater with our wonderful host Paul, and I am going to be moving into the position of artistic director soon. I've just sort of been a general person doing a lot of things up till now. Murphy and I have actually known each other for a really, really, really long time, since he was a teenager. and
Wow.
I was not, but and we've done a lot of projects together, and just I guess we sort of reconnected a little bit a few years ago and did the first holiday lights at the
Mhm.
B-side.
At the B-side, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it just was a great. I thought it was a really wonderful idea of his to get some original pieces. I had written something that we were able to adapt to use for it, and then I also acted in some of the things, and I directed it, and that's pretty much what's happened this time too. I wrote a piece, and somebody else that works at the theater, Jason, wrote a piece, and Murphy wrote several pieces. So it's just really exciting that it's all original work, and and then I'm acting in one and directing another one, and
Nice.
it's fun. It's just fun to use all my hats.
Well,
You're
that's what's up. I like that. That's the beauty of working at the Benson Theater too. You get to kind of use all your hats. You
That's
know,
right.
that's a great one.
Yep.
So just to, somebody's volumes of it. Turn the volume down a little bit. We get a little bit of feedback there. Just yeah, there you go. Appreciate that. Murphy, just want to just talk a little bit about the show, because you go around asking people what this is about, and people go, "Oh, it's kind of it's Christmassy, but it's also you know." So without giving away all your spoilers, because I know that that is a factor here too.
Sure.
Can you explain a little bit about what this show is about?
Yeah. Is my audio better?
Your audio is way better.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some interesting settings in this that I found. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so the show is a series of different interconnected stories that are about human connection, that span through all the different holidays that sort of converge here at the end of the year. So from Thanksgiving through New Year's, we've written, and it's all original work. Stories that are funny, that some of them are a little bit frightening, some of them are very sentimental and dramatic. We've been working on this for 2 months, and watching one of the scenes last night, I started crying. So it was, the actors are wonderful.
Wow.
And it's supposed to be sort of there's a lot of holiday fare out there that revolves around Christmas, and we have some of that in there too. But there's a lot of other elements to this season that often I think get overlooked. And so the point to starting it originally was to do something a little bit more eclectic, and to do something that brought in not just different holidays, but different flavors of sort of an emotional experience. But the bottom line, to just have fun. So we really have worked really hard to try to weave all those things together. And so, yeah, so over the course of the night, you get about 8 different stories, 8 different scenes, I should say. And there are 5 different stories. One of them sort of takes you through the whole evening from start to finish. And yeah, they explore different things about people connecting with each other at this time of year, about love and grief and loss, joy, celebration, people from different backgrounds connecting, and it's meant to be sort of a living embodiment of like a box of chocolates that you can just pick like different flavors out, and you don't quite know what you're going to get until you're into it.
Man, yeah, they do say life is like a box of chocolates. They say
Man.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
appreciate you coming on and talking about these things. There's a lot of, we were talking earlier about, there's a lot of holiday events and stuff going on. This is a very different one just because of the nature of it. It's not the same old nut to crack around here. It's different situations. So it sounds really really interesting every time I walk through and see what's going on. I'm like, wow, there's a lot to this show. People putting in some hard work, and I really appreciate that. We're gonna give away some tickets here on the show as well, just to let people know. Hang tight. We'll do that in a minute. But what I'd like both of you, but to hear from both of you, as a matter of fact, though, is what's interesting to me is the way that Bridget St. Bridget, which is your company, is working with the Benson Theater, which I haven't seen in other places. This collaboration, the way could you, Murphy, we talked to you live on the Benson Theater page one time. You were really talking about that, and maybe Moira, you can give me some thoughts on this too, because I know that you've been in the theater world. and how different is that? How different is this situation than others as well? But yeah, if you guys can speak to that a little bit, because I want to give our listeners an impression. I'm always talking to them about coming up with ideas and coming onto coming onto the Benson Theater and doing their events. And I'd like to let them kind of know and understand from other people about how we can collaborate and work together and how the Benson Theater kind of makes that happen. So whoever would like to go first? More, how about you? Would you like to go first on that subject?
Sure. Yes, I have been in the theater world for a very long time, and I have to say this is absolutely unique. What we are trying to happen, the connections we're trying to make with other theaters in town, with other art centers. It's really about how can we all work together to better the community. With artistic expression, with education, and sometimes so many times money becomes the factor and the reason why you can't, we just can't do it. It costs a lot of money to put on a production.
Right.
So the fact that we can work together, two organizations can work together, and it doesn't put the burden on one, is sort of amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I love that.
This is our first try at this, and it's awesome that it happened to be with St. Bridget.
Yeah, it's not just business wise either. It's collaboration with the creative part of it too. So I
Right.
think that's really unique. Murphy, as a company that does not have a space, how how is this how is it affecting the way that you guys create and produce to be able to work with the theater this way?
Yeah, I really want to give a shout out to Amy Ryan, who's the person who really.
Hold on 1 second. Your mic's back doing the thing again.
I'm gonna switch out and back in. I think that fixed it.
Thanks for bearing with us through these technical difficulties happen a lot on the show. So that's the nature of bringing people in via.
Sure. Can you hear me better?
I can hear you much better. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm using the audio on my phone now.
Right on.
Okay, so yeah, what I was saying is I really wanted to give a shout out to Amy Ryan, who was the person who spearheaded this whole thing, who had this vision for what Benson Theater could be, and when I entered into it, it was I did a play called Incident at Vichy back at the Beeee side, and I was looking for a space, and it was at a time when, like, back, I don't know, it was in 2017 or 18, and there was a lot of conflict going on down at the border, and people being detained and all that kind of stuff, and it really spoke to me about the play was about during the Holocaust, when that was happening to Jews in France, and there was so much of it that was so similar, and I really wanted to do something in a really immediate space where the audience could really feel what was going on and be not like have the audience in seats and then on the stage, but everyone was together, and that was the project that I sort of came together with Amy on that project, and then she told me the vision that she had for Benson Theater, which was to not just be another event space in the city that local artists like me, who don't have big budget and don't have resources, could afford, but for it to be a state-of-the-art theater that truly did welcome in community level artists who can then produce their work. So for somebody like me who doesn't have a home, you ask, like, that's a game changer. It gives me a place to, not just a place, but the idea was for it to be a living space. So we're not just coming in and doing our play there. We're getting the help of people like you, Paul, of Moira, of Jason, of Bozy, of everybody that's working there to help us produce the play, spread the word. And so when we first started doing this project, one of the things that we really talked about was creating a model for this kind of collaboration, because this kind of thing's never been done before in Omaha. There isn't another space in Omaha right now that is like Benson Theater, that welcomes in artists, and that you can bring your work and say, okay, this is my intimate artistic expression, and you're going to help me produce it on a scale that I could never have attained on my own.
Right.
And Benson Theater is trying to make that happen. And so we're trying to develop that mold right now so that other artists can contact the theater and say, hey, I've got a play, I've got a story, I've got an idea that, yeah, maybe you could connect me with some writers and a director, and we can put this whole thing together. And it's such a cool thing because there are no rules. Like, this is something that isn't currently being done, so anything goes. You could build this any way you want to. It's not the old way of doing theater. It's a really new way of looking at relationships and connecting people to other people and giving them a support structure so that they can find their artistic voice and then present it to the community and introduce the community to an artistic voice that they may not have heard before and that they may find interesting and relevant.
Very true. Very well put. I'm glad that you were able to articulate that to us. We had a show there last week called I Am a Black Woman, and then we did something similar with them too. And they said the same thing, like on the scale that they would not be able to do it alone, they were able to kind of bring their vision. And and it's really kind of open to everybody that wants to bring the vision. Of course, we can't partner with every single show that comes into the Benson Theater, but we like to be able to do as much as we can. And there's also a fund available as well too. Like, we just started this community fund where we there's money in accounts in order to be able to help individuals who wouldn't be able to afford to come and do a thing at a theater. They can come and participate in that fund. And again, everybody can't, but some people, it would be access to some people. And unless that fund blows up, unless people really contribute to the Benson Theater and blow that fund up, then it'd be great to be able to just be able to fund everybody's show all year long. But that might be the goal for one day. So I really appreciate you coming on in. We're running a little short on time. I'm sorry that we had some technical difficulties getting you guys on this morning and cutting the time short a little bit. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys were able to come on, talk about the show. Before we let you go, Moira, tell us one part of the show or one thing about the production of the show that you feel that you are excited about personally. We can talk about the show all we want to, but like, what thing gets you skipping into work on? Yeah, let us know.
Honestly, it sounds cheesy, but it's working with Murphy. It's he's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and certainly one of my favorite artists. So the opportunity to collaborate with him and to work closely with him, there's so much respect and admiration on my part. So that's just a real gift for me.
I love it. I love it. Murphy, how about you? What gets you going? The whole show, I'm sure, but one thing specifically, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I love the whole thing, and absolutely working with Moira and the rest of the cast. Like, everybody's just wonderful, and there's no ego in the room, and everybody's just there to really bring it forward. One of the pieces that I wrote is really personal to me. It's about my father's dementia, and it's called Old Cy Lang, which is a play on Old Lang Syne, and Moira is one of the actors in it. It's 3 actors: Jack Zerby, Moira, and Jessica Johnson. And it's really, like, we talk about the whole collaboration and the vision thing, but seeing something I wrote that's about my life, that I think will speak to other people who have dealt with or are dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's in their family, whether you be the person with dementia or the family member dealing with it. And then the other character is a caretaker. So it's kind of this love letter to caretakers, because I watch these people just really, they're just so beautifully dealt with my father, and we're just so supportive and wonderful. And so the opportunity to be able to write something like that and see it performed in this holiday, like nestled in this other holiday stuff where we have ghosts and all this other cool stuff. And then there's this moment of just honest, true emotion of somebody dealing with something so delicate like that. It's just a beautiful piece. And I'm really, in that, for me, it's like a little shiny little thing in my heart.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming. I will say one of the things that gets me excited about this show is seeing John Forsman pull stuff out his butt to put something together. This man,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Our tech director is some kind of wizard, so that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's like there's a 3/4 environment that we're dealing with. So we're using 3 video projectors, and so when the audience sits in the play, it's snowing all around them in some of the scenes, and it really is, the theater becomes this magical place once the lights go down. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun.
I hear you.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the show, and we'll see you. We'll invite as many people as we can, have them come through, and meet you guys
Great.
in person when we get there. So appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Thank you for taking the time and having us.
No
Yep,
problem.
thanks, Paul.
You guys have a good one.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, there you go. And I will put this link in the chat right now. This is the ticket link for this show, and you can use the code FRIEND in order to get a free ticket to the show. And I'm going to go ahead and put that out there to all of our chat chimers. You can click on that, hit friend, family friendly show, so you can bring your friend, your family and your peoples. And there you go. You put the code FRIEND in if you hit that if you hit that Ovation ticket link right there, and then you can get some free tickets to go check out Holiday Lights. And again, Holiday Lights is running. It's a run show, so it's going to start Friday and it's running through December 18th. Okay. So this is the wrong flyer here. That's supposed to say the 9th, not the 2nd. But it's the 9th through the 18th that's going on right now. Holiday Lights. Check it out. It's brought to you by State Farm, the Matt Daugherty, the Matt Daugherty office, and also the Douglas County Business Improvement Fund. And also the Benson Theater and Bridget St. Bridget. So a lot of people behind putting this thing on. But check it out, family friendly show. There you have it. We had the fam on to go talk about it a little bit, and yeah, check it out. It's different, you know. I'm not a big holiday cat, but it's cool. It's different. They got a lot of elements to it, as you can see. Some very heartfelt things like Murphy was talking about. So
I mean, I still see a lot of ugly sweaters out there, so still a lot of people go hard for the holidays. So yeah, definitely something to go do. And I'm feeling the spirit, man. You know, you feel the spirit. Again, regardless of, you know, whether you believe in the holiday as far as, you know, Christ's birthday and Christopher Columbus and you know, the Thanksgiving, like regardless of whether you believe or think of the right the holiday, like just coming together in the family and all the emotions and all that surrounding it is important. So yeah. Interesting.
3 minutes left. What's the haps? We'll do a little haps. What's happening? What's going down? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the haps. We always say we're going to do an extensive haps on Friday and end up doing exactly what we
never do.
Right. That was for JaKeen. I will say tomorrow is not tomorrow. When is this happening? This is the 10th, right?
That's tomorrow.
December the 10th. Tomorrow, 6 to 11. It's going down. The Afro Excellence Gala is happening. Where is this at? I always lose where it's at. The Truceland Campus Event Center. I don't know about that place. Dr. Stanley M. and Dorothy Truceland Campus Event Center, 619 South 42nd Street. New spot. Okay. I'd like to see what's going on with this spot here. But you know, this comes from the Afro Omaha camp, and they always put on a great event. And you want to see some excellence happening, go on, check out the Afro Excellence Gala 2022 is going down tomorrow. Also, what's going on tomorrow is the Crawford fight. That is tomorrow. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you already, the people that are going, I'm sure that you got your tickets already, because I mean, this thing's like close to sold out. All the VIPs are sold out. I'm trying to call Tim Clark or somebody and be like, "Hey man, you got an extra seat on that VIP table? Come, let me go see what's happening." But yeah, big fight, hometown hero, and it's happening in the hometown at the CHI Health Center tomorrow. It's going down, and of course you got a lot of fights in between, but I think their fight starts around 9:00. So definitely check out the Crawford fight. I think Mayor Sanchez told us that there were places that were going to show the fight in town. If you didn't get tickets, you can go to a couple spots and do that. Mayor Sanchez, if you're still in the chat, let us know about those spots that are going to be showing the fight for free, and we'd be able to check it out. But yeah, man, champs in town, champs fighting in town, hometown advantage, all that good stuff. It'll be very, very interesting. So definitely check that out. And that's really, we're coming up at 9:00 here. Buddy, you got any haps for the people that we need to be talking about?
I mean, not really. There's a couple after parties after the Bud Crawford fight. If you willing to step out, there's some things going on.
Okay.
Also, Ja Rule and Ashanti, they'll be at was it the Ralston Arena? If anyone cares about that.
I wish it was just Ashanti, but
yeah. She's been making some moves lately, but yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I don't really know.
There it is, Primo's. There, that's what he was talking about. He says Primo's off of 60th and Center. Man, I still ain't been to Primo's. I need to try that food out.
Okay.
Watching the fight over there at Primo's to 60th and Center tomorrow. So yeah, if you didn't get tickets to the Crawford fight, there's some places around town that will be showing it for free. Primo's is one of them. Go hang out with Mir Sanchez. I might even show up down there if I'm feeling all right. No, man, I'm not feeling too great today. So we'll see. I might need to hibernate like everybody was talking about. Ron's review says wagon in grass wagon in Council Bluffs Crawford after party official. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Wanda Lewis says my daughter is a bottle girl for the Bud Crawford after party in the VIP section. Yeah, I've been seeing her post for that. I was wondering what that was. So she's going to be hosting a VIP section. So that's what's up, man. Like I said, man, we were just talking about this before the show. It's amazing what people come out for. Everybody will come out for this fight. Everybody that can is going to come out for that fight. I know cats that are going to their savings account pulling out money to go VIP at this one. I know cats that have done that to go to Vegas and go see the fight. So hometown is about to blow up in a big way. That's really all that's going on, man. I don't know about Ja Rule and Ashanti, but
yeah.
I want to see who goes to the Ja Rule show and don't go to the Crawford show. That's what I want to see who that is. That's what I want to tell me that. Don't forget about the world record of racist stories that's out by Amber Ruff and Lacey Lamar. Two New York Times best-selling authors now with their first book. You won't believe what happened to Lacey. Their second book now is out. The world record book of racist stories is happening, and I'm sure this is going to be a bestseller as well. Definitely get it, check it out. A lot more stories, not just from Lacey this time, but from other people that we know in the community, and that's going to be very, very interesting to check out. So that's what's up. So that's about it, man. Unless you got anything else that you think we need to be talking about, people in the chat chimers. What about you? Anything else going on that we need to make sure that we mention before we get out of here for the weekend? Buddy, you got any plans for the weekend?
Yeah, actually, I will be going to a like a gala. It's a gala. It's an event that will be hosted by the Nation of Islam here. Some brothers and sisters from like the UNIA, Nation of Islam, or Science Temple. We meeting together. I'll be out there doing some photography work. And other than that, now I'm just kind of chilling, man. Trying to take it day by day. Trying to get my truck back on the road, man. These rentals are, costing a lot.
Man, dude, that's hot. That's tough. Rose Review says I'm on vacation for the rest of the year. All right, man.
Okay, man.
Time for the kickback. Where's the backyard boogie at? Let's get down.
I mean, is that kind of heads up for the strike, or are you just on vacation? Let us know.
Oh,
yeah. Let us know.
Is that code?
Yeah.
Yeah, the brother was like,
message.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you on Monday, where it'll be News Monday again. So we'll have some updates on some things on that day. Of course, Women's Wednesday is happening, and we've been talking to some other people about bringing them on the show to do some things too. So we'll definitely talk about it. And then of course Friday will be our last day of the season next week. Friday for sure. Wanda Lou said, don't forget about the Ja Rule concert. There's a lot going on. Yeah, ain't nobody going to Ja Rule. Baby. Nobody doing after the Fire Festival. Ain't nobody doing messing with Ja Rule.
Ooh, dang, I forgot about that.
Burned him on the Fire Fest. Burned him.
Dang, I forgot.
Yeah, if it was just Ashanti, I'd be like, yeah, I'm down for that. But you don't miss the Crawford fight to go see Ja Rule. I'm sorry. It's just
Twister be there too. Twister.
See now,
Do or Die. Lloyd.
Do or Die gonna be there too.
Come on, man. It's gonna be a show.
Well, let me ask you. Well, see, we only got so many black people in Omaha. So if we all gonna be at the Crawford fight, who gonna be at Ja Rule? That's the question I'm trying.
Yeah, it's a fair question. It's a fair question.
All right, we running late. You got some words for the people?
Man, big shout out to our guests. Again, make sure you check out Holiday Lights. Is that it?
Yep.
Holiday Lights again, especially if you're feeling the Christmas spirit, just to support our friends over there at the Benson Theater doing the good work. And then also, if you have any ideas that you would like to see grace the stage, we need more diverse voices, especially in theater. We need more diverse stories being told in theater. So definitely, please use this resource. Don't take it for granted. So big shout out to everybody at the Benson Theater for doing their work. But yeah, as always, big shout out to all of you, the chat chimers, the listeners, the ghost listeners, first and last time listeners, for giving us the support that you have given us now 2 years into the thing, and looking forward to more prosperity, more support moving on to the future as we prepare for season 5. Man, feels good to say season 5 coming up very soon. So look out. In the meantime, in between time, Paul B, take it away.
Shout out to Moira Manginelli and also our friend Murphy Wulfgar for coming on to the show. Thank you so much for that. Definitely check that out. Like I said, we have a link in the chat if you want tickets. You put the code FRIEND in, they're free for you. That's exclusively for the first Sky Omaha friends and chat chimers. So there you go. You want to check it out. Really appreciate you guys coming on through. And you guys take care of yourself this weekend for sure. Pop says, I so love this show. Thanks, guys. And Paul, a special thanks to you for being here while ill. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday. Appreciate it, Pops.
Man.
I'm feeling no pain right now because I popped a whole bunch of NyQuil pills and stuff like that. So, the appropriate amount of NyQuil pills. It says on the box you're supposed to have 2 per adult.
Thank you.
Yeah. Didn't mean to make it sound like that. But I am gonna go lay down after this is over because I can feel it coming on through. But I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Brooks said, great show. Brooks said you should have said Twister first. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
About no Ja Rule, baby.
I mean, they the headline.
Anyway, Waterloo said, okay, leave his name out of it. You don't hear about that. Mar Valentine says, another good show. Looking forward to season 5. Appreciate it. Brooks said, hope you feel better, Paul. Thank you.
Man.
I went out for 5 minutes and felt like I caught something again. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Get well soon.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you and have this conversation. And thanks for following us over to YouTube as well. Thanks for all the feedback about whether or not we ought to be turning off the Facebook and Twitter channels. We're leaning towards leaving them on now after people are saying what they're saying. So, but you still want to encourage everybody to go over to YouTube. Definitely have more features, more stable, and it's just a different kind of thing. YouTube is a video search engine, and they have different algorithms than the social media of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that. So, So anyway, but thank you for everybody that has already followed us over there to YouTube. Let us know how that's working out for you as well. Always need the feedback because this is a conversation, and we do not have a show if it's not conversation with you. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Also, we don't have a show if we don't have support. So we want to encourage you to go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button. Thanks for everybody that has donated. Especially I saw a few coming on in this last few weeks. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. It really helps us keep this thing going. And that's what we want to do. And once again, get ready. The break is coming next Friday. We're taking off some time in between that break. We are going to try to put a little event together and try to get everybody together in a physical space to do some things, hang out, maybe a little kickback again, bring a DJ, all that kind of stuff. We will have a little event in between that time frame. But until then, just know that we'll be back February 16th for season 5. 1 more week. It's going down. Really appreciate you guys hanging in there. Rome's Review says, have to add hashtags in the description for search engine. Okay, yeah. Bring the hashtag situation back, definitely. And tell a friend, and create that link so that people can come check it out. Marianne Williams says, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. Thank you especially, too, for dropping so many gems in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. Really appreciate you doing that and everybody that does that. The conversation goes on there. And with that said, we're going to get out of here. Have a good one. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green.
any